Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lecture with Coding with Roby. And in this lecture, we're going to implement the logout functionality. Now to implement the logout functionality, the first thing we need to do is open up auth.py. And let's scroll down until we see our register and our login. I'm going to make the logout functionality right between both. And now the logout functionality is going to be another GET request of type logout. So at router.get, and as the path, we're going to say /logout. We're then going to create a new Python function, async def logout of type request of our parameter. Message is going to be equal to logout successful. Response is equal to templates.templateResponse login.html as a parameter. And then as the context, we're going to say request and message of message. We're then going to say response.delete cookie key equals access token. And this is what's going to delete the cookie. So when we sign in and log in, we save an access token as a cookie, which holds our JWT. And when we log out, we delete the JWT and the token in the cookie. And then just return the response. All right, let's try this out. So if we go back to our browser, we will right click and inspect so we can watch the token. If we sign in successfully, we get the token. And if we say /auth/logout, we get a logout successful and our token is removed. Now, however, when we're signed in, there is no logout button. So let's add that to our HTML. Let's go over to our navbar.html. And under this UL, we're going to say display this home button only if the user is logged in. So if user exists, we'll show it. If not, we won't. And then let's create another UL or unordered list with a class of navbar-nav mlauto. With a new Jinja script of bracket 2% if user. And inside we need to create a new list of class navItem m1 with an anchor tag inside of type equals button class button outline light with an href which goes to auth/logout, and the words are going to say logout, and then we need to end the if. Let's save our file and open up our browser. When we refresh the application, I'm going to close this. I'm going to sign in. And we still see nothing. And that's because we're checking if user exists, display this, and if user exists, display this. However, in this, it's saying that the user is not displaying. And that's because we need to add it to our todo.py file. So let's open up our project and go over to todos.py. For each of these requests that we're checking for a user, let's also just pass the user inner context. And now you can just sit back and watch me pass the user into the context in most of our responses from our todos.py APIs. All right, I think that's all the locations. We don't have to do it at the redirect response because the redirect response is going to be calling this API. Which if we scroll up to /todos, it's just going to be inside this API. So now if we save the file and go back to our browser and refresh our page, we can now see that there's a home and a logout button. If we inspect, the logout button is also in the mobile responsive web design. If we click logout, we get logout successful with no cookie, and the logout and the home button are removed. This wraps up the logout functionality on a full stack application using FastAPI, and I will see you in the next video.